actually having 3 players basically on mid early in rounds. So yeah,
they're going to start out on CT side here, so we'll see what happens when they get to this first gun round.
oh wow, JW's already going to find a swell of players,
and this allows them to instantly be in position to do this.
So this is, yeah, this looks really bad right now. And Olaf can just going to pop the head of Freiburg, so things looking quite terrible here. But Forest able to at least return 1 frag to put it to a 3-on-4. But the problem is that Fnatic are all over the B bomb site right now, which is where Get Right is with the bombs. So NIP got to rethink this at the moment. They need another player to kind of create an opening somewhere on the map, and they're slowly scouting out A now to see what they can do on the A site. We've got NIP players around Connector, and Forest is locking down the CPL area, and he can also lock down the vent. And this is maybe Fnatic being a little bit too slow at the moment. They do have someone pushing in B-App, so they should be able to be a bit faster on the rotation here. But Crims, it won't matter, is going to get the frag on to exist. Bomb still needs to go down here for NIP to make this round work, and Get Right is going to be able to get the frag there with Forest, and the bomb can get planted safely now. So good work from them, but still lots to be done.
Oh, watch this though.
Oh my god, Flusher.
That was a big mistake.
That is actually going to cost them the round, I think, as we are going to get Right cleaning up the last kill. Oh,
if he'd have done that right, he probably would have won the round immediately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously you have to credit Get Right got all the kills there. Yeah. It's a pretty crazy sequence.
But I mean, the weird thing is how that quick kill would have affected Get Right's ability to even take fights, because then as soon as he creates the Get Right has to suddenly look behind, and that changes everything.
But there's JW.
Absolutely.
Just JW things.
Such mouse lift. And so we have a bit of occupation here from NIP on middle, just systematically taking that control, just cleaning out all the angles slowly but surely. Freiburg going a little bit closer behind the smoke, and that is a mistake. Crims is going to punish him.
And he's going to be able to get to this gun. But does he choose to?
They've lost nothing so far. They only a little bit of damage onto Pronax. And as you say, that gun is eventually going to be for the taking. They do have players in place to actually contest with this, despite just having pistols. They're close range, they're 5.7s, P250s. This is danger here for NIP as they try to get the bomb planted. Going to be a couple of frags, though, for them, as they do manage to make that happen. But still,
it's already a good round, though, for the Fnatic guys. And now they have a chance to potentially win it. But obviously, JW's got a lot to do. I thought he did, but and now it's looking very, very vulnerable.
Forest able to take down Crims, though, and he's now has to deal with JW's coming around the corner with the scout. This is really dodgy, and he's going to get taken down. So JW unable to finish it off, but as you said, it was a good amount of damage there. 4 players taken out, and that is absolutely crippling here. And Fnatic are going to have a little bit of extra, just a tiny bit of extra economy from getting those 4 frags.
It shouldn't even have been a round that you really had a chance to win, especially once you got into the site like that. It looked like it was a done deal at that point. Oh,
absolutely. So we've got Alu, whose job here is to, apart from getting quick headshots with the USP, as actually to scout the site to see if they were going to run into a stack, only having the pistol. As well as being the man that they want to have the AWP on in the following round. But they are going to clean it up, only losing 1 player. So that's a bit better. But now comes the buy from Fnatic. So now this is where things will start to get interesting. And it's also where NIP should start to show their experience playing against Fnatic. So it would be interesting to see if they do start targeting B a little bit more. Because, they, as you say, it's so clear the strength is around Crimson Olaf. Well,
especially because if JW decides to go up for the majority of this round, at this map, one of the ways you can shut JW down is if you have a really good AWPer and you pick him a couple of times in that window, he will just stop buying the AWP and he will stop peeking that window. He'll play much more passively. He'll play over towards the B site. He won't have those crazy... Because the problem is when he peeks out like that, if he gets 1 or 2 kills, then he's going to really take liberties from there on. You know, it's going to become a real hassle for you. You're never going to quite... You're going to have to go slower than yourself because you're not sure when he's going to peek out and when he's going to cause problems. So if you can kind of hit him early, then you can dissuade him from doing that. That's what people like Kenny S do against him. But you have to have the guy who's got the quality with the AWP to be able to do that. So Alu will have his chance in this game.
And they do actually manage to get the kill on JW there, highlighting him behind the smoke for a quick frag, and that's going to actually win NIP this the ladder area. And we do have a boost coming in. Alu gets a quick shot. That's fantastic, actually, Flusher going down by short, and now there's a lot of problems here for
This guy
Fnatic.
doesn't know that he's there.
But Ali should know what he's trying to do.
I mean, he's just done the scope a bunch of times, so you had to figure they'd have heard him.
And Olafmeister will take Ali down. So 4 and 3, retake situation. They're not going to go for it, which is
Yeah,
smart.
Olafmeister's health, as soon as he got that up, they were already just halfway out the door to go in to save. Now, if they save the AWP now, here's the question. Olafmeister can be a very good AWPer. So does Olafmeister just keep the AWP and use it to lock down A? Does he give it back to JW and let JW peek the window again? I'm not sure, actually. I could see him giving it to JW here.
So yeah, it's I think it's going to depend on the spawn as well, because especially when it comes to JW's AWPing style, as he does want to go for those fast frags, and this is like part of the reason why the aggressive AWPer can work so well on a map in Counter-Strike Global Offensives, because the random nature of the spawns means that it is truly unpredictable. If you just play the best spawn,
And there we go. They've given it back to JW, so I'm expecting him to go and immediately peek again through the window. This is what he wants to do, because again, even if he doesn't get the first shot, there's a scenario in which he misses the shot, doesn't get killed, but knows that there's someone there. So he's always going to peek like that, because that's like the Pronax style as well. He wants to know if there's someone there.
and we might
A little
have
bit unfortunate. Luckily, grenades don't really do any damage unless they go right into your mouth in CSGO.
That's true. That is true. So JW's still on the window, and they actually killed him whilst he was sitting there in a previous round.
And
so
now Crims can do a lot of damage here if he holds this window room correctly, because they're going to be setting up to try and get JW.
they are looking for a peek here from Fnatic. They want Fnatic to give them the opening or the ease of an opening, and I like the deeper smoke there on Connector. That's going to put a lot of doubt onto Fnatic whether or not NIP are trying to use the smoke to take Connector or to keep them away from Connector. This is a really good play to generate obscurity in what NIP are actually trying to accomplish.
Good call by Fnatic. They know it's going to be B.
They do have Pronax in place. And JW as well gets the first kill. That's going to make it easier for Pronax. He's already going to spot some heads. Perfect angle. And this is going to be an easy cleanup here for Fnatic, surely. Just 2 players left. Alu now is the last man to stand for NIP, and he's got the AWP in hand. So Fnatic, they get around, and pretty clean as well, so maybe they can pick up some weapons here, get rid of those Famases. Yeah, and they're going to get the 2 AWPs here, and Olafmeister, absolutely excellent AWPer. I think back in the LGB days when we would see Olafmeister picking up the AWP more.
Oh, he would be a primary AWPer at times. Now,
exactly, yeah.
The thing is, on that particular round there, it might look like, wow, what a great call from Fnatic, but actually there was no presence on A whatsoever. So even though JW was totally smoked out, he never got to see anyone towards that mid area. He knew that, okay, the best bet's that it's going to be B. It's going to be a slow B now, because we haven't seen anything so far, yet they're smoking constantly over in the B site.
And they already lost Olafmeister here, and oh, there you go,
There's
JW.
the 1 for 1, and that's the AWPer down now.
And Ali was even looking for the angle also, JW on the reaction. And it is interesting how Fnatic wanted to throw that double angle with the AWP at the start of the round. Did get punished for it, but that propensity for aggression with an AWPer such as Olafmeister and JW is certainly dangerous, but NIP, it might condition NIP slowly to watch out for that in the future rounds. As they just hold middle at the moment, again, just biding their time. They have time in the round to use. Fnatic are down.
This is where you would expect JW to peek again, actually. Oh no, who was that over there? It was Pronax who was actually in the window room. He did peek, but he was taken out, which is now going to give Nip a really good chance. Now, will they actually go B, which is what they've been thinking of doing, because the bomb's going back at the moment.
Well, they've only got 30 seconds, so they're going to be committed.
And now it's going to be a B.
And they do have a really good line across the map now, so definitely a huge advantage. JW and Flusher left over, and they can't have all that much money here. So
I mean, they probably would have gone for a segment scenario, but they may as well at least see what the first scenario presents them with. They've got 1 already there.
And Flusher might want to consider just holding the exit, but it looks like he's going to go in at the moment. Go for the frags, gets a quick kill on to exist. This is why you want Flusher on the team for these situations. And he's going to hold, isn't he? He's going to go for it. No, he's not. I thought he was. And he does get the kill, so it's another 1-on-1. And the bomb actually,
oh my gosh,
isn't too far ticked. Can he do it? No, not with the Famas. And Geray gets the quick headshot. I actually thought
He might have got that, actually,
Yeah.
I think. I mean, the problem is he has no way of knowing where that second guy is,
Yes.
so he probably did have to let go of it, but it would have been a bit ridiculous if he did just won that.
Yeah, it is some
It
decent
was pretty
damage.
baller. A good mind game. Okay, so we've got double ops again on Fnatic, though.
Yeah, they've noted how
Double
weak-
ops, and yet two guys have pistols.
Yeah, they want to money screw NIP here. They know how much damage they did in that round thanks to Flusher, so they really are looking to win this round. This one's worth 2. They don't want to give a like easy economy to NIP, and instead they want to keep the pressure game up, and it's something that they're good at doing. So let's see if the defense can pan out. So far, the smokes are keeping these angles shut down for the double AWP of Fnatic, which is their only advantage at the moment. And JW trying to get boosted over the smoke here, but this is going to be really exposed. Oh my goodness, gets the player on Shadow. Great work there from JW. Let's get caught though. Pronex does get caught by Exist though.
Well, this isn't a good scenario to have two ops trying to do a retake like this, because unless they just give you free peaks, I mean, there's one, but you're just going to always be halfway waiting towards like, nah, I'd just rather save now, which is pretty much what you're seeing now.
Absolutely. So I need to keep those alive, and you would expect NIP to try to like hunt these down because, okay, letting one AWP survive, okay, but two AWPs in the hands of Olofmeister and JW, that's actually quite, again, that's quite scary. They can definitely win a round with two AWPs. So
I actually, when I was looking at Makaleli when he first joined the team, I actually drew a parallel between Makaleli and JW in terms of their AWPing, because it's a strange kind of chauvinism we have with AWPers, where if someone's incredibly fast with the AWP and they can hit super fast shots, we want to think that they're an amazing AWPer. But actually, what's bizarre is a lot of the guys who are really fast like that, actually their consistency isn't very good. Their hit rate isn't so great with it. So it's like what they get on one hand kind of balances out on the other.
And this could actually be just what the Doctor orders here for Fnatic. Going to be rolling into the AWP of Olofmeister and JW, so they should be able to pick up some kills here. It's going to be Olofmeister who gets 1. But
this is quite a strange scenario to have two in that one area like that.
And the bomb's actually in their line of sight as well.
This is doable, actually.
And they have no grenades to actually smoke it. Oh, they did have just 1 left. Okay.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Oh, Aliu has 1 as well, so... Oh!
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
In goes the nade for a bit of extra damage.
And he had tagged that guy up, but he has no way of knowing that.
This is too dangerous. They're just going to scurry away with the AWPs. This is a really weird, like, situation where they keep saving these AWPs. Obviously, you have to credit NIP for going for a play like that. They were so fast on the timing.
That's like a patented JW save there, where you save, so you give up the round, then you don't actually save, you get killed and you lose the gun. So it's like, well, congrats there, Egghead, you got 0 out of that round for us. But unfortunately, you have to let a player like that do what he wants to do. His style is he likes to take peeks, he wants to get the kill, and they lose both guns, in fact.
Yeah.
It's actually a total net loss for Fnatic's side of things there.
Yeah, it's been a really, really weird situation. Continue to just carry the AWPs. And obviously, NIP knew that was the situation, so they're thinking, okay, what's the best way we can deal with this? Let's just do a quick rush on B with the proper smokes, with the good timing. They beat Olofmeister. He had to fall all the way back to Kitchen, so his timing was useless. So yeah, it was perfectly done by NIP. Good decision-making from them.
And at the moment, Fnatic's in a lot of trouble because they're not known as a strong T-side team, really. And this is a map where, against good teams, it can be hard to get T-side rounds. So they're already in trouble in terms of the scoreboard. Absolutely.
And they do have a really low amount of grenades at the moment because their economy is so stretched. So, and the problem with that is retakes. If they're going to give up a site, or even challenging into middle. Now they've only got 1 flash left to do so. They want someone to flash over. The Pronex can flash over for maybe Crims to peek in or something to see what's going on. They only have 1 flash to do that with now. So a lot of free map control for NIP. Oh my god. Flusher surviving with 1 HP on that nade. I think he did swallow that one. Ali going to pick up Crims.
But he blew like a little plume of smoke out.
Exactly. And Olofmeister are going to be coming from Palace here. Now, Freiburg seems to be aware that there could be a player up there. Olofmeister needs a distraction. It could just be in Pronax, but I mean, Pronax goes down. And
nothing's going right for you if you can't get that kill in Pronax's situation there.
Yeah. So 8-1, Fnatic getting crushed here on their CT side. They lost the pistol, and it's never really picked up. They've never really gotten a grip of the game. they've never really had a good economy. They've never really had what would appear to be a good chance. They had one round where they kind of took a big risk and decided to buy 2 AWPs, had 2 guys on pistols, and that was like a really big risk to get back into the game.
And it ended up costing because they tried to save twice, so they're already giving up on the scoreboard there, so they need to at least keep those guns, which they weren't able to do on the second occasion. And Nip's just getting into the site many times, obviously on this round they're against pistols, but many times with 4 or 5 guys alive once the bomb goes down. So these aren't even standard retake scenarios.
Yeah, NIP are doing a really good job in a lot of these rounds. And they've also been, when JW has been on the AWP, they've been successfully avoiding getting essentially exploited by any good timings that JW would have, and they've been playing well together to counter some of these faster timings, like we saw the double peek on the AWP on middle with Olafmeister and JW. Well, Ali was on the angle straight away, and Olafmeister died, and then JW's already smoked off, consistently being smoked off. So they've been doing well to kind of neutralize some of the early
great example of how bad the deagle is in CSGO.
I was trying not to.
Some of those were on his head, but yeah, the gun isn't very accurate.
Yeah, the accuracy in CS:GO with some was like even the AK, it's like not even the first bullet's not accurate. So
okay, JW going for the AWP again. They're going all in here.
And once again in the window, we do have.
But the smokes so far have been very good this game from Nip. They've always been on point in terms of just taking away his initial peaks, not trying to necessarily get them into the site, just neutralize him a little bit.
And they are moving into the A bomb site here. They have a player who can flank from underpass, but already experiencing some issues here on the A site. Lack of grenades is definitely allowing Fnatic free reign on these angles. And in comes the player now. As first, the lurker over on B-Apps does go down. This will fall in middle as well. I've seen NIP run this strat actually multiple times on Mirage. Looks like JW is going to get the frag on to get right. Trace coming in. Alu now in a 1-on-2. This is where he could really prove his mettle. This would be a crushing blow for Fnatic to lose this round, if it wasn't already bad enough. Going to get the bomb down, and that's going to put the clock on the CTs. Have some nades here to give him a bit more freedom to get into maybe a better position, as he's got to be aware Pronax is likely to push this or jump up on the toll booth. You can see him scanning around. Spotted the pixel there. Pronax a little bit too slow, and Alu gets both kills.
Really nice second shot as well. That was pretty much a flick shot there. He didn't have a whole lot of time to line that up. But yeah, the accuracy bang on.
Gorgeous stuff there from Ali, proving his worth to the team. And that's just, that adds insult to injury, rubbing salt in the wound. It's really, really
Any
rough.
more cliches?
No, and
the cat's out the bag there, DDK.
I was actually gonna go further with that, but you know, I like to run with like 3, but I stop with 2, just to, you know,
You got to
be
keep
nice to
mixed
people.
up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, got to save something for later, but it's a pretty good defensive line once again. Prodax getting 2 quick kills, buying some time, and the flank already coming in from his teammates. Fnatic already on top of the entire team. NIP barely able to step outside onto the bomb site before already being flanked by Fnatic. So great aggressive movement on the A side of the map gave them a really good understanding of what was going on. And but that aggression that gave them an edge in that round has not really been. The thing is that their economy has been suffering so much that it feels like they have been shying away from taking some of the more aggressive plays that they are actually quite good at doing, just because it's risky and they don't have economy.
The strange thing is, if you look at the overall scoreboard, Fnatic has 2 rounds out of the 12. But if you look at the kills, they're actually not that far man for man off the Nip guys. The amount of kills is, yeah, let's say it's like 60-40 edged over towards the guys from NIP. But you actually look at the rounds, it's dominating performance overall. So it's not like Fnatic's players are playing terribly, they're not getting any shots off or anything, they're just not able to convert that into round wins.
And now we just saw Freiburg trying to entry into Connect. He did actually pick up Crims, which is...
In fact, I think on this map in general, to tie into what you were saying there, it feels like Fnatic have been unusually kind of static in how they've held the sites. Yep. They haven't been really quick to rotate or gamble before they know where the guys come from. It's almost like they're playing reactively. Okay, where's Nip going? Right now we rotate a man, now we put a man here. They haven't looked like they wanted to take chances.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And usually we would see JW more using the timings more to go Palace or, you know, B-Apps or maybe even jumping down underpass, like just, you know, doing more crazy moves like that. But he's, as you actually predicted, he's just generally been sticking to window which has, I think, created this staticness. But you know,
now this
hold
is a
that
huge
fort.
chance, this position here. If he just lets at least a couple go past, this is 2 or 3 kills here.
Excellent. From
And the bomb
Pronax.
down in 18 seconds, so that they know exactly where it has to be.
And Flusher is waiting here. Really good angle. Waiting for the Tease to make the move first. And he's going to jump around and finish off the last player. Really well done by Pronax, specifically in that round. As you said, like patient to wait for the first couple, then... And even the frag which when he flicked around, that was actually quite good because they already knew where he was at that point. So
Now, Alu's had an AWP every single round pretty much on T-side so far. But this will be a round where we'll see him without it. And meanwhile, JW does have an AWP.
He's back on the middle again. And part of the reason why, because JW tends to be the aggressive instigator for his team, generally speaking. And if he's not aggressive on A side or B side, and he's just sitting in middle and slowly rotating, then they won't get that early information a lot of the time.
I feel like B's been the best site for Nip over all those, but it looks like they're veering away and they're just going to go A the last couple now.
Some good pop flashes. Look at that. All
And
of
that's just a free kill.
Getting excellent work here. The counter flashes from Fnatic in this round.
And that's a perfect example
Phenomenal.
there of what happens when Fnatic has their A set up just spot on. You're just being shot. This guy, then the other guy's shooting you, and just crossfires everywhere.
Actually, a team that used to do that really, really well was Virtus Pro. They used to have a really good setups on the A site. This is like quite a few versions of Virtus Pro ago, but I remember also seeing them quite strong there. I haven't seen them play Mirage in a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure how they're doing it now, but we do have a quick push on middle. And this is something that Fnatic are good at as well. They're good at aggressively holding middle and doing it in ways which are kind of safe with their team play, covering each other.
Looking pretty good for Fnatic at the moment.
Feels like they found the momentum a little bit too late. Should be kicking this one up though, and there it is. 5 rounds for them. So that looked like a more of a Fnatic kind of, you know, few CT rounds there. That looks much more like them. But
That's why when you do attack the A site and their defense there is very good, a factor that makes it more than even just the players in the lineup. Like you look, okay, you know what Crumbs can do, you know what Olafmeister can do. Those two playing off each other, I think, is the real combo there, because they have that level of team play where it's not just like before the match you say, oh, you play here and I'll play here. It's like the way they play off each other in the moment. There's obviously like an unspoken quantity there. And
yeah.
you can see the way it plays out. And whenever you have those great players where they're really good players and then they have that special chemistry. I mean, you were talking about Virtus Pro before. That's what Virtus Pro were famous for. More on the T side, but just like knowing exactly when he looks this way, I just know I can look over here and I'm safe to do that.
Exactly,
It allows you to just be in just the right place at the right time, which is that unknown quantity you can't really account for on paper, you know.
And one of the things on the A site holds as well, which can make that so much stronger, is that the players that have that sense then also understand exactly when they should be shooting their gun and then flashing for the other guy who is unable to like go and shoot and take jewels as well.
This is a big round for the Fnatic guys here. If they lose this, then Nip's basically on a free roll.
So already going... Okay, they do get the bomb site. They did lose a man, but they've gained position. They're going to put the clock on the CTs. Looks like they're going to take CT together. This is actually a really good move from them. If they can shut CT spawn down together, that will work out quite well, but it's going to be just JW now against 2.
Standard JW there. It should have been the round over already, but he kept them alive a little bit longer. And Alu in general has been very good this game. I mean, the only times, when I think to myself, the only times I've really seen him dying in general was when he would be the last guy left alive with the AWP facing like 3 people. In general, he hasn't really lost his aim duels. He hasn't really lost when he's gone in with the team.
And this is actually a spot where, for example, Envy in this position might actually decide to force, even though this is one of those rounds where you save and you go AKs. Because they have... Because in a situation like this, where you're so far behind on a less favored side, you want to like cripple the economy of the CT straight away. And so they have these really fast B rounds with perfect nade setups and tech 9s. You'd almost favor that over their rifle play.
And there's the bomb right down in front of that area there. So now Nip has to know where everyone is.
It's going to make it hard, but...
Wow, that's one way to start it out.
P250's coming into play and the tech 9s, but...
basically can do everything there.
Get right with the P90, gonna put this all on Pronax.
His problem is he can't get to a gun because of where GetLight's playing.
So it's unfortunate that I would really have loved to have seen the pistol armor grenades, full grenades by there from them. I think that would have been really interesting, but
See, look at the kills again. Same
now.
scenario. Look, aside from Alu, who's going way above and beyond everyone else in the server, everyone else is very similar in terms of the kill distribution on both teams. Yet, Nip leads by 7 rounds.
And let's have a look and see what the strategy is here for Fnatic, because they, instead of forcing it up last round and going for a surprise buy and a creative play, we do have them saying, okay, we're going to do it in this round. This is the round where we're going to get control of the match back. But Exist already going to pick off Olofmeister, who I think, from the way that they're set up now, they might be looking at a bit of a delayed middle take into that 3-pronged attack into A. But also having Olofmeister in Palace does give them good options to just have him be a lurker. But usually they don't use Olofmeister so often as a lurker on this map, I think. So I think the A play was what the original plan was. But now they've lost Olofmeister. They don't want to spread themselves
But
so
the guy
thin.
in A here is going to peek out and see if he can see anything in a second.
So this is actually in a really good position here, and he's got good support as well. So NIP look really well poised to defend anything that Fnatic can throw at them here.
I mean, it's going to be an A, it looks like, at the moment. So, is he going to come back? Is he going to go back over again?
So they're going to try to make this work, the grenades, but then now Flusher gets picked off in middle. This is really horrible because Flusher was the key player to distract them from Connector, to maybe kill the players from B, or at least slow them down to allow Fnatic to take the site more easily. But they've got to put it all in on Pronax, JW, and Crims now. All up, T-Slope. This is really awkward. It's the worst case scenario, and NIP just completely maul them. And that is... The sad thing for Fnatic in that round is that they had to go through like 3 different plans, basically, none of which could actually get going before then another plan had to start, because then NIP would pick somebody off or change the equation somehow. So now they're back to ecoing again. And I think this is also one of the situations where some of the teams... This is again why I think Envy is so strong. It's because they have so many good Tech 9 armor nade rounds in their pockets to go with.
No, well, the thing is, Fnatic, even when they were at their peak, they weren't known as the CZ abusing team. Yeah, JW uses it a lot, but actually the other members of the team, not really.
So I know some in-game leaders in a position like this will say, you know what, they're on the favored side. They have 13 rounds, we have 5. The only way we're going to get back in the game is by taking a risk, but winning rounds now. If we're not going to win rounds now, then we're not going to basically allow them to get economy. We want to be able to keep the pressure up, win rounds now, get them closer to eco, and then we'll have momentum. We'll actually have a chance to actually win the whole thing. We're not going to play to like lose less badly. We're going to play to win. And for example, I know Threat, when I speak to him about a situation like this, he's a huge fan of such of keeping the pressure always on in situations where you're really down. So, I
mean, this is going to be a slow, just from the distribution of where they are on the map, this is going to be a slow B again. And this is an absolute must-win for the Fnatic guys. Otherwise, Nips, they're just inches away from winning the whole game.
And they might actually pop flash Freiburg in here. Yeah, there it is. They're going to actually find themselves the nobody on A slope. And this can be quite telling. Although it's early in the round, it can give them a lot of key information that where the current setup is for Fnatic, where the current players could be, either be apps or
they're gonna try and rotate over towards A, it looks like, and just wrap into A from in that little connector now. They're gonna start peeking around that area.
This is really interesting here from Fnatic. Now,
with that kill there, there's so much time left on the board that I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to A now. Because now you've got so much time. Now, this guy pushed up here, Exist. He might even only have to get 1 kill in it. Allows his guy over towards where the connector room is. There we go. And that's the bomb. There's 2 kills. But that's time, though.
Yep. But still, they do have Pronax and connector, so they might still be able to save this through the merit of his position at the moment.
And unfortunately, it turns out no one goes past him, so they're locked out for the moment. And everyone from Fnatic gets away.
But they've got, again, Pronax in jungle. This could work out if he gets the quick frag on Ali. He does. And now there's a big advantage here. And Flusher's actually peeking for the kills. The bomb is planted open, but Flusher openly peeks and gets the frags. Definitely a risky play to go for when they have the best possible setup around an open plant, but he gets the kills.
No, in terms of like textbook play, you'd actually say that was bad.
Yes,
that was basically the best case scenario there. As many times he can get killed from anywhere all of the map, and then it would still be a very, very winnable round for Fnatic, but you're giving a much bigger chance to the guys who are over on the CT side. Now, Alu's got his AWP here, and he's got everything along with it. What position is he playing? Okay, aggressive position taken.
And he might just get a frag here. Forrest is there to support. He can actually flash over middle here. That flash is absolutely deadly. That's going to allow Alu freedom, but he's smoked off, backs away, and Freiburg smoked out as well. So
nice blind kill though.
Yeah, it's looking really good for them now. But Get Right and Exist holding things down quite well. Alu now close range. He has to get a frag here. He's got to get something. Does get one kill, putting it to a 1-on-1. Exist now rotating in. Pronax has no idea where he is. Oh, the bomb is down as well on short. This is certainly going to be problematic here. It's going to waste a lot of time for Pronax.
What a great smoke to have though. That's if you ever notice, by the way, this is a general point. We'll just see if there's a kill here or not. He has no way of knowing it's going to be there. Might even bump it in. It's going to be a free kill.
That's amazing.
Okay, as a general point here, though, here's something as a trend. Notice this in CSGO. Whenever you see an in-game leader in a 1v1 or 1v2 scenario, there's a much, much higher chance they'll have a grenade, a flash, or a smoke. Because in-game leaders, they're the guys who know like how valuable that can be just in terms of those scenarios. And in general, the in-game leaders usually are less skilled overall, so they need to use a bit of guile about them. Whereas the real star players, they tend to waste those immediately at the beginning of the round. Then they go back to shooting people. Just watch that as a general, just a little piece of trivia next time you see a 1vx situation from an in-game leader. That was a very unfortunate round for Exist there, though. He literally walked in on the one angle where he could be seen by Pronax and yet not have any chance of seeing Pronax. He walked slightly up in front and next to his gun.
So now, I mean, Exist has really been locking this
down. If he wins that 1v1, by the way, that's almost game over at that point. Oh, and Exist can't hold that spot there. He's down to 2 health.
Yeah, this is actually really, really terrible from Exist now. He's been doing a good job there in the past, but this time it's going to be Freiburg who has to pick up the pieces, but he can't do it alone, and it's a 3-on-2 now for Fnatic.
Freiburg, a.k.a. all the King's horses and all the King's men. Just cribbing from your notebook there.
I like that. That's a good one. I need to remember that. And Get Right. Pretty impossible situation from here, and he's going to get gunned down. So Fnatic keeping themselves in the match.
As soon as Exist missed that first shot, the way they were coming up that ramp there, you had a bad feeling about it, and it went worse and worse and worse. And you have to remember, Freiburg got about the best he could have hoped for from his situation. He got 2 spray kills onto someone, he got away for a moment, and they never had a chance of winning the round.
And now they're eco.
And their A site is exposed at the moment. And yeah, obviously they're on eco this round anyway.
So Fnatic have a chance to really get some momentum going.
It's still going to be very difficult, though, if you're going to win this map as Fnatic. Now, listen, you have overtime in this format? Yeah, it's possible you can get to overtime, but actually winning it, grinding out like all the remaining rounds, yeah, that's going to be very difficult on T side of this map.
Freiburg actually will get the kill. Oh, there it is. Does pick up the frag on Flusher. Doesn't get to turn around to fire that AK in time. In a good position, though, but Get Right just picking away at them, as is Forest. So, yeah, it's... In theory, you would say that it's quite unlikely, like, it's the odds for Fnatic to because NIP will have, like, a couple decent, like, really solid buy rounds here, and they only really need one, as you said, to, like, get themselves to overtime. And it's quite likely that NIP are going to get 1 at least. So, Fnatic...
I mean, Fnatic's doing fine money-wise. They're getting the bombs down still. I'll lose a key player to watch here, not only because he's got the AWP again finally after losing so many rounds, but he's the guy who's actually cooled off a whole lot. He was the guy who's doing the best on the first half. Hasn't really had much of an impact so far on this CT half.
JW looking for picks in B apps at the moment, just trying to get something here. You got basically Fnatic set up along the entire map looking for a defensive frags. You can see Crims is guarding against any pushes on the A slope from to CTs, which they've shown the propensity in past rounds to actually go for, and same is said for middle as well. If NIP want to push middle, they're going to run into a Fnatic player. So Fnatic just taking a passive opening here, seeing if any openings will basically be revealed to them, any opportunities for a quick frag. But now a bit of time has passed, and they've got to start creating some opportunities. There's a great flash, and Freiburg will pick up the frag from that. As always, such a good position to flash in from short where Forest is. You can blind the entire team with the perfectly placed flashes there and get some easy frags. And that's going to allow NIP to have a man advantage. And that's going to also put the skates on Fnatic. They're going to move in quickly now towards this B split. up short, up through apartments, and JW is going to spray down the defensive players on the site.
Pretty even 3v3 at the moment. A lot of time on the clock.
And 2 players in now, 3 players in kitchen now for NIP.
There's still a flash for Alu. So if he just gets a sense of where they are, he can still flash off to the right and they can push in there.
This is going to be quite tough, and there's only a kit on Alu now. As Freiburg jumps up, spots the head. What a shot there from Freiburg, but still
but the
Flusher.
time now.
Flusher is just trying to bait him out here. And
it's working at the moment.
wow, he's actually reading this correctly. Oh, he gets the kill. He's jumping around. Freiburg could easily have just gone for the whole. In fact, I think a lot of players would have done, because there's so little time left. You can't really come off the bomb there.
I think you just have to commit there.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's certain players. That's actually an aspect of game theory that some players, I think, I kind of counter to what I always prefer to do. I prefer to always be the one who's making the choice, whereas some players, I mean, some really good players, in fact, will always let the opponent dictate whether they get a shot. Like, they'll just wait for the opponent to run out and see if they can get the kill, and then they would win the round in that scenario, but the opponent has to show for it to happen. Whereas the worst feeling to me ever is when the guy doesn't show and you just lose the round outright.
Yeah, you're stuck there looking
so it's
like
a philosophy choice, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the worst feeling, you know. I'd rather have died trying to go for it.
Yeah. It feels like they outplayed you. Which they did.
We're not getting that far away from where Fnatic are heading towards overtime. I think maybe 2 rounds and that they're actually going to be in a good position. The problem is it is still CT Mirage. Any time Nip can just get a CT round win, well, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I'd like to see what the kills are overall here. Let's see. Yeah, they're almost even still. And yet, look, now the rounds are so close. So I think overall, in terms of the game, no one's really been dominating skill-wise. It's not like anyone's been doing terribly.
yeah, it's been pretty even actually across. Well, even with Orpa's, Jeremy. I mean, Alu's been hitting shots, but he's been hitting the shots that he puts himself in that you would expect him to hit. It's not anything ridiculous.
And this is supposed to be one of the... Remember, this was one of the maps during the Fnatic dominant October-November meta of last year. This was the big 13, 12-round CT half. Now both teams are going crazy, racking up CT rounds, rather, is what people were getting the stretches of before. Now teams are winning huge streaks of T rounds, actually.
And actually, something interesting I just noticed there is that Olofmeister and Crims, I saw a round like this previously, they both went into Palace straight away because they know how likely it is for certain teams, and also when you have, I mean, I think they've seen it from NIP before, that they could push Palace with 1 player for a quick timing, and they got 2 players facing that angle straight away. So they're looking for these early aggressive timings from the CTs. So that gives you a kind of an idea of how Fnatic are wanting to play the start of these rounds. They're wanting to get ahead by reading their opponent's aggressions and then outplaying them from there with numbers advantage. So the last round was like this as well. They used the round up to about this time, and then they decided to start making a move, start actually getting map control. And you can see now they're going to collect the bomb. Now Olofmeister is going into Palace. They've got a guy on slope. They've got a guy almost on connector. You kind of need to hand here, actually, because... Let's check who that is really quick. It's Pronax. He's in a good position. He can actually get into connector without help here. So they're going to get the 3-pronged attack. So far, NIP have given them nothing.
Well, actually, Olofmeister is going to be the first to peak.
Ali with a good defensive frag, so this play is not going according to plan at all. It's just Pronax and JW left. They got 6 and 5 health left respectively. In comes Pronax. There he goes, just as quickly as he came. And now it's JW who is looking for something, and he's got no time to do it. He's in serious danger of getting fragged after time here, and that's what NIP are waiting to do here. They really want to murder him as soon as that time runs out. And did he actually... Did they get that? Was that before or after time there? I think... I'm not sure if that was or not, because I'm not sure how much money he had before, but yeah, pretty brutal there. NIP on 15 rounds. Fnatic now need.
And I think the guy actually overall for Fnatic who's struggled the most has been Crims. He's done okay, but one of the things about Crims is, even though he hasn't got a lot of kills, it's usually that he doesn't die so much. He's actually died mid and early round a lot more than I usually see when I watch him play a map like this that Fnatic traditionally quite strong at. Now Nip in a very, very good position to just close this out. Fnatic can't make any mistakes whatsoever.
And, one of the issues with what Olofmeister was doing there behind that smoke is that if there was a player in front of him, which there was, when you shoot the AK in the smoke, you see the tracer bullets, so they can actually see where he's shooting from. So he's actually quite lucky to escape there unscathed against Exist. He was sitting right opposite him. Fnatic, again with a passive opening to the round. Again, losing out on the damage battle, losing out on getting any opportunities. NIP playing very passively, in fact.
Look at this positioning, though.
So Forest flashing into middle again for a peek for his teammates here. So
there's not much time left. So the second they get spotted here, it's all in. Now, this is where... who is that over in the A site? Olofmeister again? Okay, at least he held for a second, but not long enough. He was hoping he could peek out behind and shoot someone who's rotating. And so now Nip should know it's all in on the A site. B, rather.
Oh, JW actually got a tag onto Freiburg there, but not the kill. But there's plenty of nades here to get some early delay on. And JW has a smoke as well, so he can re-smoke as soon as those ones go away. And that's going to be crippling here for the effort to retake this. Exist coming in. Going to be very key now because he's able to take down Flusher. It's just on Exist and Alu now. They can close around out here. They just clutch this, but they're running out of time. That bomb is getting further and further along. And there you go. Fnatic do take the round with a very quick execute onto B. So
let's see. Yeah, the money's not so great on the Nip side, so they're going to have to save.
It's actually quite curious how, for both teams, way more solutions have been found on the B side. And it's not even that we're seeing... there are other teams, top teams that I've seen, which have much more elaborate and interesting set plays as far as the way the execute works out on the site and who goes where and where all the nades go and when they go and so on, and how they take mid maybe to support that push, stuff like that. It's been a little bit more crude from Fnatic, but they're able to work their way in.
There's very few top teams also who would do a pure save like this, where all they bought was a couple of pistols, couple of flashbangs, one amongst people, because they want to go for the full save later, so that on all these other rounds where they want to close the game out, they have everything. Yeah, so they're making it way more likely, because actually the scoreboard dictates now that you should do this full save now, whereas most other teams, when they have 3,000 or 4,000 like that, they're going to at least buy, a grenade, pistol. You have to see, maybe even Desert Eagle like we saw Envy buy earlier today.
But look at this, we have actually 4 NIP players, and they have read this perfectly. Olofmeister, though, is on A, and he's just noticed that it's clear, and they are going to go back now. That's brilliant, because had they committed into B right there, that could have been hugely problematic. All of NIP were there.
Here comes Forrest
is going to spot it.
He couldn't get a lot more done than that, though. Just a couple of bullets.
And there you go. They're going to close it out. So really, really important that Fnatic waited for Olofmeister's fact-finding mission to complete before they decided to make a decision. Because had they not waited for Olofmeister there, that could have been game over in the B-bomb site. And now NIP on with the buy. As you said, thanks to the save, they do have a good.
And they're able to get an AWP over. It looks like they have Forrest at the moment. Actually, has it. Okay, this is interesting because they bought the AWP, but he's giving it to. Okay, they've got 2. It would have been interesting if they'd have chosen Forrest to AWP over Alu in this scenario. The thing is, we've almost never seen any engagements at that mid. Feels like the Fnatic guys have just decided not to go for it ever. They've always done this slow setup like this where they don't peek there. If anything, they've been trying to dare Alu to push up, but he hasn't done that.
Absolutely, and we got Get Right and Freiburg with the crossfire from short and connector. So it's quite an interesting dynamic that we've got here for NIP with the double ops. We've got Forrest who's actually AWPing B-apps, and JW is looking for the opening here. There's many ways for them to do this. It looks like he's going to go for the boost here to get an angle into CPL. There is actually a player in CPL, and there it is. He does get the kill onto Alu. That's a great boost. And now Freiburg is under a lot of pressure, because if they do decide to push connector or CPL, he's got to look 2 ways. But they're going to rotate back around for the A play. Now they've set up 2 players in connector. Oh, but Exist proactively moves down the slope, going to pick off 1. That's a really huge effort from him.
A bit unfortunate from Freiburg there.
Going to barrel through onto the site now.
It's going to be hard to hold this site now, and he's not going to be able to. So let's see.
Good work done here so far from Fnatic. Looks like they may be able to make this overtime a reality, because we saw how broke NIP are.
It's looking like it's going to happen now.
So really interesting.
This is a lot of T rounds to win. And even though Nip got a lot of T rounds as well, that was on the first half. You can be a bit freer there. You can kind of pile it on once you've got the lead. Grinding out the rounds when you remember it was like 14 to 6 or something at some point in time. It was some crazy score for Nip where it's really hard to grind out all those rounds in a row like that.
Yeah, it's actually really...
and there haven't been that many sort of 1v1 situations on Fnatic's T-side, actually.
One of the interesting things for me is just...
And they get Forest Scan.
It's just...
let's see Nip's money now. That's terrible. Yeah. I mean, you can't even buy...
Well, it's
rifles.
They could maybe win this because it's CS:GO, right? So there's ways that they can. But the thing is that Fnatic should know every trick in the book. They know how much money NIP have, so they should understand. Okay, well, we need to be safe. How can we lose this round? It's the question they should ask themselves. Okay, mid rush, basically rushes on loads of spots. Players getting isolated without support. You know, they just have to avoid rush timings. They'll
just try. They're going to try and just get some duels initially. They'll probably waste the first 45 seconds. Olaf Meister will peek out somewhere.
Hey, look at
JW will take a peek somewhere.
Super defensive on pretty much all the angles. Had this been pushed, they're fine.
This is really where you'd rather Exist wasn't the man who had the scout here. You'd rather, in terms of the positioning here, you'd rather Freiburg was the guy who had it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if they just gradually move their way into the B site, there's not really anything Exist going to be able to do to have an impact on the round.
So perfect approach from Fnatic, though. I really agree with how they've started this one off. They've now successfully evaded any possible rush timings, any possible team play setups into positions which could be surprising. Now it's just about using the time that's remaining to make a play somewhere and actually get some picks going for themselves. And as NIP are pretty spread out, and
the problem for Nip as well is at the moment they're taking long range angles with pistols. Now the time's getting down.
And they are ready to push it.
And it looks like the guy who has the only real gun is going to get no action whatsoever.
And it's
he's going to be the last to see someone. Well, that's the start. There's a gun. Unfortunately, the time is very much against them.
Freiburg going to come in here through the smoke. And he hasn't been spotted, but snapped by Pronax. That's a really good frag. And a very important one as well.
It should be impossible to lose from this scenario.
It should be, yeah.
You've really messed something up if you lose from here.
They would drop on the rankings.
Oh, there we go.
Places if
overtime DDK.
Yep.
Overtime. And what? How does it work on overtime? Do you stay on the same side?
Yeah, you stay on the same side you just played. It's going to be MR5 16K.
I mean, the way that was going there, you feel like that favors Fnatic. They're the ones who've been grinding all these rounds out. They've got all the answers at the moment. Everyone's doing pretty decently. Meanwhile, over on the Nip side, I think Alu maybe got something like 5 kills on that entire half. He really cooled off. He didn't really have a game impact from what he was able to do on the T side. He wasn't a good CT AWP particularly. He never got any chances to even fire at anyone down the middle. I feel like at the moment we're heading towards Fnatic stealing it at the end.
Yeah, it does feel that way. I was pretty shocked at how appalling their CT side was. But I actually saw a match recently from them, and I saw a very similar result. And I cannot remember for the life of me who they played against, but essentially it was a similar situation where it felt like they weren't Fnatic because they started off, they lost the pistol round on the CT pistol, and they had the situation where they just could never get money, just like always lacking nades, never really able to purchase the AWP much. When they did, it was conservative, and that's not how Fnatic they play their best when they're not being incredibly conservative.
And Nip is going to go for a dual AWP setup here on this first round. I mean, what they were doing before wasn't working for them, so try something different. And
with Forest, they absolutely have the possibility to go for that. He's definitely an excellent AWP player. And he's going to get himself a flick onto Pronax, and that is going to set things off to a good start here for NIP, but still chances here for Fnatic. They're able to equalize somehow. Exist on the angle. They know that he tends to play this area, and look, the double peek comes in, but he still gets 2 headshots. That's actually unbelievable with the spray as well on such a fine angle. You cannot expect that result to come out very often. And JW will get a kill towards B. However, it is a 2-on-4.
Still a lot of time, but the problem is that they're split apart like that.
Now, if JW can go nuclear here, well...
He literally came, sat down so that his head went into the crosshair, and then Ali just pressed mouse 1. Maybe he used, like, hypnotism there or something like that.
Well, I mean, Flusher actually has the bomb, so there is actually a chance for him if he's able to get a quick
He got the first kill, but, I mean, it was a big ask there. And Nip, crucially, keeps both of the AWPs.
And something you got to be careful of with MR516K actually is the money, because you can very feasibly run out of money, especially if you are intending to go for big buys all the time, you know, featuring AWPs and scars. And some teams like to do that. We saw in the Oceania match earlier, an overtime that got quite weird with teams basically not being able to buy on the 4th and 5th round. Either way, Get Right is pushed himself. I actually haven't seen this angle used. What team play? That's excellent work there from AP, but he doesn't get the second kill. Unbelievable.
It seemed almost certain the second kill was going to come there. But you can tell he was flashed as well.
Yeah, I can't see that going any other way, but Fnatic able to avoid what would have been a crippling blow, and instead of a 2-men lost, they managed to trade 1-for-1, which actually goes and works in their favor.
Yeah, the guy at the moment actually over on the NIP side who's been like the real X factor for them has been Exist, because he's somehow always been looking at exactly whichever aspect the terrorist team came out. If they came out the little ramp, he was always looking there. His timing on when to be looking up in the palace area was always on point. Now Alu gets a free kill there.
Oh, Olaf Meister, but he's got another close range shot, but he hits the shot, and it's going to be a 2-on-2 now. Crims and Olaf Meister.
This is where having a smoke really helps.
The dynamic duo for Fnatic. Alu going in those 2 AWPs here. This is actually a
and
very...
the front side of all the times to do that. So actually, they never have to show on Alu if they don't want to.
This is quite a peculiar situation, but that box where Crims is actually can be wallbanged here. The frag will be found, though. Crims gets the second one as well, and that is excellent rifling there from him.
I really wonder if Forrest actually could see him there. It looked the way he shot it as though he was just taking a gamble. You know, like he had to figure it had to be in that area where they were stood, and I think he just took a gamble. It's a shame we couldn't see Crims' actual action there, because it must have been pretty crazy to do like a 180 kill like that.
Yeah, and it's going to be...
And in general, he's been reasonably quiet this game. We haven't even seen him in many 1v1 type situations. He's tended to be dead by that point.
Yeah, it's been flusher very often, actually, in JW, but...
That's how fast... was that JW he was actually against there? That's how fast JW can fire. We were watching on Forrest's screen, and I don't think I ever saw enough of JW's head that I thought he could even see Forrest to shoot him.
Exactly, yeah. And the thing about AWPers as well is that there's so much... There's this, well, I don't know if I have time to really go into it, but there's the concept of visualization, that you see the angle already before you peek it. So you have like way faster response times to actually make the shot. And
that's one of the things like with JW I'd love to know is how much of this is pre-firing, because sometimes he does just do that. He'll just come around and fire at a certain spot really quickly. How much is like actually scanning, seeing the guy firing? Is it really that fast? It's hard to know. Like with Kenny S, sometimes I think he really just is that fast. He just sees and still does it, you know. It's hard to know though with JW.
He's going to have Forrest, he's going to get challenged, Get Right as well. The B-split comes in. NIP so far with a good defense.
Oh, and that was potentially costly. First kill though, and he gets away.
Oh, wow, he dodges the grenade as well. And he's still alive. Alu now has the opportunity to take 3 frags. Now they're distracted with Alu. And Alu's still in the mix by Kitchen. And Forrest picks up another kill onto Flusher. And another one. He should not have been alive. And we started off the round. Forrest got tagged by JW straight away down to 16. And he somehow got away with 3 kills there. So that's pretty crucial for NIP to find such an efficient round out of what looked to be such a shaky one. We've got Olaf Meister on the AWP here. Did he have a timing? It looks like he did have a timing towards middle, so it looks like he's on the connector duty at the moment. Not going to spot all that much. And
you notice that the Fnatic players have switched up who plays where. Originally it was always Olaf Meister, and then sometimes they'd switch Crims into this position we see Flush out now, but they've swapped over entirely. And now they have Pronax as the guy who's been peeking the window room, whereas sometimes it's JW. That's another aspect that they use in terms of JW. One of the ways you want to use him is not only does he get to choose where he goes, but you want to make it so that both on T and CT, the enemy don't know who's going to be at that position. So they get used to it being Flush or being Pronax, and then suddenly it's JW, and so you're not expecting it to be that.
Exist, the man who's been locking this down so easily in previous rounds, is going to be put to the test once again. Looks like they want to go in for a push. He does have support from Stairs, but with proper grenades, they could actually isolate Exist completely here. Olaf Meister.
And Olaf Meister gets the kill there, which is going to pull that guy away over towards this window room, which is exactly when they're coming in. So the timing's really good, but Freiburg can take care of that himself.
Still 2 players to deal with, though, in the immediate vicinity, and they're going to take Freiburg down. That's going to open up the site, but they still need to get the bomb planted. Olofmeister's got an angle, gets it onto Get Right. That's brilliant work there. We do have 2 players left. Ali working in.
Now, he won a 1v2 when he had the bomb down earlier, remember? Right in the first half. And he's gotten through. Can he do this? No.
Ali was making a lot of sound there. I mean, he was actually hidden, and he was just running the entire time.
I mean, actually, like I said, when I was describing it, Fnatic's timing on when to go on the site was really good. After Olofmeister got the pick, the rotation came from Nip over to the B site. They started to go in. Freiburg had a crazy double kill where he almost, I think he took like 8 health off himself to get the free kill. But Olofmeister then gets another pick, a free one right in the back, and that pretty much decided the round right there.
So we're going to see...
now, they're going to keep re-peeking Forested over and over, and JW, again, it's not many people can do that. I mean, Forrest's a pretty quick shot himself.
Absolutely, and that is, as you say, the edge that JW brings to the team. And again, what a shot!
This is a standard, like, highlight movie style scenario from JW, where if this is all you saw, if you saw this on HLTV.org later today, you'd be like, he's the best player in the world, how could anyone beat him? But even JW can't do that all the time.
He's able to pull out some crazy stuff in clutch situations. I think I like Kenny S the most.
That's 4 kills.
For these insane, ridiculous, but also consistent, like weird no-scope clutches, where he's able to get loads of really fast frags and flicks, where his positioning is actually terrible, but he's able to, with his movement, to actually...
Now, what was interesting about this overtime half there is that I would have said, if I couldn't see the score, if I couldn't see who was winning the rounds, just from the way the game was playing out, it felt like Nip was actually getting the edge, and they were in favourable positions. It looked like they were going to, maybe they're going to win this half, and actually Fnatic won that half overall. And now Fnatic's in a position where to win this map, all they have to do is win like 2 rounds of CT on Mirage. That's a pretty good position to be in. And JW's rolling, by the way, from the last round.
Yeah, and he's already on middle, and we can see 3 players there from NIP looking to try to take some early map control, but again, it was fairly contested. I'm sure that there's going to be some repeats going in here.
7 health.
Yeah, the early damage battle definitely won by Fnatic here. But NIP do have position in now, and Fnatic have decided to kind of just contract further back onto the bomb sites now, and just, mixing up their positioning.
Let's
so
see if
don't know where they are.
Well, that was kind of a bizarre scenario to be killed from.
But that's a really crucial one as well. That gives NIP a lot of positioning. And now they can actually do something really weird if they can actually go into CPL and get themselves in CT spawn at the moment, because they have a guy in connector as well. So that can prove quite promising. But they're just going to go for the simple things, go for that B play as NIP roll on through. Already tagged, but Forrest is lucky to still have his life. Pronax in with 2 fast frags. There's still 2 players oncoming here with the bomb in hand. The Lurker is dealt with over by Connector, and it's all on Alu now. Looking for the flick, but he is going to get eliminated, and that's a pretty damn clean round from Fnatic. They played that quite well, to be honest. NIP were always at the mercy of Fnatic there, how Fnatic were kind of almost shepherding them into that B push in how their setup was going, and they seem very afraid to actually use Connector to their advantage into any kind of A plays, and instead said, you know what, let's just go B. And to be fair, they have had more, both teams have had more success on the B round, so it does make sense. But
particularly for Nip, that was the site that when they went there, in general, they got the best results from. They got the bomb down at least a lot of times. They haven't been able to do that so far. I mean, there's only been 1 round, but okay.
And there's an interesting facet that, well, it's like, I'll just hold that thought for now, because NIP are working on some extra map control here, and they might be getting some entries quite soon here. We've already seen Olofmeister fall prey to Ali warping.
Okay. Now JW potentially in trouble here. It gets down just before that guy runs out.
Great shot there from Get Right. Very fast on the frag there, and that's going to allow his teammates to move in very quickly as well onto the bomb site, but his angles aren't proving so good here, and Get Right picks up another kill to take down Crims, and that's a 2-on-3 now. Fnatic definitely in trouble.
They are worried about this man around here.
Ali does have the angle though, and they can plant safely if they've got the nades to cover CT, which they actually don't have all that many nades.
That kill opens it up entirely now. Alu can essentially win the round if he just gets this kill here.
And yeah, you can see
12 health on Flasher.
Tech9 out for Ali. This should be a given. Surely going to be turning the corner soon. And there's the peak. And an easy frag onto Flusher for the round. As
Hey, his patience was very good on the connector run there. A
Yep.
lot of people would have just peeked it or just held back and let that guy run out. But the problem is if he'd have run out, he might have even gotten the kill onto the other guy in the middle of the site. So I think he timed it pretty well in terms of when to take the shot.
And Olafmite's actually buying a Scar now. I wonder if he's going to actually use that in there. Yeah, this spot is quite brutal with the Scar. So would expect, again, a very passive opening from NIP. Both teams play fairly similarly on their T sides, actually. Fnatic and NIP both have a similar ethos when they approach these rounds, looking for these early picks, looking for these early aggressions. And we have a middle hold here from Fnatic. This is a setup that they're really good at doing. And this is why it's so dangerous. Crims can pop out here. Doesn't get the kill, though, and there's no flash to pop flash anybody who could have been in the underpass. So yeah, Forest does get the frag. And the only saving grace here for Fnatic is that they have good levels of map control. Pronax picks up the kill. He does. So they have top middle now. That's actually quite important, but Pronax is going to fall back after they equalize. Aliu and Forest are really low as well, so NIP at the moment, they need to decide.
Get ready, JW. Well, it must be nice to live that life where you can just do that. This is an AWPer who's playing like prone position, just waiting for you.
And his name is Alu as well.
I mean, when the rest of us do that, 2 of those bullets go in the wall and then we get killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
But when you're JW...
It works out.
Okay, you want a classic Thorin joke, because Fnatic just won the game, okay? So if you were rolling up like a role-playing game character, you know, you put like all your different points and your different stats, you know? I feel like JW maxed out like luck. But then, remember, if you put all the points in there, you have to take something else, you know? So I'll leave it to viewers to guess what he might have given up in terms of
that's hilarious.
Attributes that a human being could have. What would he have given up for that luck? You guys at home decide. I'm not going to say.
All right.
I mean, it's going to be... Oh, first kill here. Remember, Nips basically on the brink of losing.
Absolutely. They have taken control of top middle at the moment, and getting that kill onto JW certainly is going to give them a lot of freedom. But I think we're going to see potentially flashes into middle here. In fact,
the way it's set up, since it's Get Right who's over in Palace, that means in theory they don't want to go to A. They're wanting to go to B. So keep your eye on that every time you see Nips set up like that.
Yeah, we do have Crimson Connector still, so they have a good vision on what's going on in middle. It's a 3-on-3 situation now. So
they're very spread out though, the Fnatic guys. So Pronax has a lot of work to do. He either has to get out of there entirely and just let them have the site, which is what it looks like he's going to do. He's going to try and kill the first one, and if he doesn't, he's just going to pull back.
So good play here from Pronax. Go for the retake instead. They still have a good amount of grenades as well to use, but the problem is that
they have a lot of flashes.
Same can be said for.
But they can't just wait. That's the thing.
So looking to go in a little gap there through the smoke. Might be a double-edged sword though, as Crims approaches. But looks like he could be able to get through there pretty easily. There's no one really readily on the angle, as they have to deal with Olafmite, who's really close here. Pulls out the CZ, it goes in. Forest completely blind, looking against the corner of the wall. Pronax coming in. Freiburg gets taken down.
Just like that, he wins it.
And Fnatic are going to take this against NIP, and it was the pick of Fnatic. Mirage. So really interesting match, and it's always very interesting when you see these two teams play each other, because they obviously know each other really well, and you can actually see that from their play also, because neither team really wants to take many aggressive risks, whereas you probably see Fnatic and NIP be a little bit more risky against other teams. Against each other, they don't want to do that. They're both playing incredibly passive openings.
Well, think about that. There was a game of Mirage there with two teams who, at least in recent form, have been very good CT side teams, and almost no one was ever having battles in the middle of the map. There was no mid battles there. There was no AWP versus AWP. There was no like 3 terrorists push up and then a couple of people peek out. It was always just like really slow. I don't think any of them had like a set tactic. They always just had the bomb laid out. They had people in all areas of the site, and then they were always just like gradually moving into sight. So they were walking the bomb in, you know. There's never any coordinated push up middle and go into the connector. That never happened. Yeah,
exactly. It's just a really slow rounds, but still very awesome match nonetheless. I really enjoyed that one.
Well, just because something's slow doesn't mean it can't be awesome. Also,
of course,
DDK, you know, I mean,
yeah.
I'm thinking of like the tantric arts from over in
All right, I won't go there. Okay, all right, guys. So we're gonna have the next match coming up soon. It will be Fnatic versus LGB, but Remember, guys, we are going to be giving away some Dragon Laws, or at least rolling for the opportunity to be able to give those away when we hit 400,000 followers, and also Doppler for 4 subs. And also, we are still running the charity, justgiving.com/Faceit. And of course, we will play a video as we go into the break, so you can see that whilst we're setting up the next match. In fact, I'll let the video do the talking, but it's obviously a really good cause, and you guys have been doing a really good job donating so far. And well, we are going to set up the next match. We'll see you after the break.